I'm in the middle of nowhere, finally, again. Hello from the Carpathian Mountains. We're having a great time here. In this video, I explore the impact that going to the mountains can have on a person and highlight how this experience connects to the magical atmosphere of snow, a novel by the Turkish author Orhan Pamuk. I will also show footage of my trip to the Drahobrat mountain in Ukraine. We went there with a small group of friends to celebrate my birthday.
Ну нічого, мені скоро 6 років, а потім 7, і я тебе пережену. Типа, я буду старшим.
We just arrived to Drahobrat and I'm running to catch the sun, which is about to settle down. I couldn't reach the top during that evening, so we would have to start it over the next day. I have just finished reading a book by Orhan Pamuk called Snow. This is a book for which he was honored with a Nobel Prize in literature. It tells us about a poet who goes back from immigration, goes back to Turkey into a mountain town, and suddenly a huge snowstorm hits the area and all exits, ins and outs to the town become closed and he cannot get out of there. I don't know why, but these people are following me. We have an ambitious goal to go over there and then follow that ridge until that peak over there. And everything is covered with snow. A poet sees this snow, he's locked in this small Turkish town with all its traditional thinking and small city life. And this makes such an effect on him that he sees the snow as a reminder of God. It impresses him, the city in the mountains, this snow falling down, covering everything around. It impresses him to such an extent that he begins to write poetry. He couldn't write poems for a very long time, for years. And this is the first time that he starts writing again. He gets inspiration from these moments, from this snow, just from looking on the snowflakes. Getting back to Turkey, to this small city in the mountains, all covered with snow, makes a huge impact. He falls in love there. This is all about the idea how the magnificent nature impacts us, how being in mountains may change our perspective. Simply by seeing these huge ridges, we sort of realize how small we are in the world and how big the landscapes are. Because living in the city, they are designed for us to feel comfortable and not think about anything. But when you get into the real nature, you're surrounded by these great landscapes, great mountains. It sort of makes your soul get power from all that, get power, get inspiration. This is why a lot of poets are inspired by nature. I guess this makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Of course, Orhan Pamuk didn't get his Nobel Prize for just describing a city in the mountains. It was more about how well he managed to describe a dualistic soul of Turkish people who live there, because they have different factions, different political views, different religious views, and one person can have contradicting thoughts about all these issues. It describes people who immigrate because they hate something about their country, but then while in immigration they keep loving the country even more and dreaming of coming back. And by coming back they realize that they are not welcome there anymore. This is painful to them. They also see all these small details, why they love the culture, why they love the country. All of these resonates so well with what we have in Ukraine, because we have war and many people decided to leave the country, and we also have this dualism. Here it resonates very well, this story about snow, this dualism of humans' soul, this tragedy of refugee, of a political refugee, of a war refugee. We don't have books like that in Ukraine yet, but I think 5 years from now we will have a lot of that as well, when we will have time to think through the reality of what happened. And maybe we will change a lot of attitudes. We will look at everything in a more objective way. This is all I had to say about Orhan Pamuk's Snow. Like, subscribe for more stories, share this video. See you later. Bye.